Bill O'Neill, winner, winner, winner. Bill O'Neill advances for title. Indeed. The birthday girl, Stephanie Zavala.
9 to make the show. There it is.
He yelled, do it, and he did it. BJ Moore makes the show. 10 is a win for Snodgrass. Title number 6 on the PWBA Tour.
Off his hand, it looks good. It looks good. He's done it. He's done it.
Yeah, welcome back to Royal Pin Woodland here, Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Craig Elliott along with Jimmy Callan here. Practice session number 2 as we continue to prepare for the 56th United States Open here in Indianapolis. Jimmy, we saw pattern 1. Quite a few guys made it for the full hour-and-a-half session. New pattern here, some new balls out on the lanes, and guys are going to take a crack and see if they can figure out what this one's going to be like.
Yeah, 47 feet. This one is much longer. The guys should be much closer to the head pin. The first squad, to be honest, they played all over the place. Yeah. You know, I thought you had to play a little bit straighter. Guys were left of 20 very quickly. Tomorrow could be very interesting. This one here, we'll see, but not much volume. They're only oiling 28 feet for a 47-foot pattern, so a lot of buff out. We shall see. I think it'll be very interesting, but you have to be a little closer to the head pin.
We'll take a look at that graph and dissect a little more. We're going to be live for about 15 minutes here. Big shout out, welcome to all our friends out there on YouTube as well watching here. If you're not a subscriber to Bolt TV yet, what are you waiting for? Do it now.
Yeah,
let's get out the lanes and watch some of this practice session. As you see, it's much more relaxed here. Guys are just kind of talking, you know, BSing, I guess is the right term. Try this, try that, move around. There's no structure. They can go to any pair they want. The guys are actually even down on pairs that we're not using for the tournament, which is interesting as well. I think a lot of times, Jimmy, don't the guys try to go to their starting pair?
Yeah, they start.
Just see.
Usually so, but I mean, you try to get an idea. I mean, a lot of guys have notes from the previous year here, you know, and they want to go back and just see how, if they're still equal, you know, maybe one lane hooking more than another. And I think that's part of what practice is as well, just getting a better idea of, you know, how much more does one end hook to the other? You know, does they hook more in front of the counter because, you know, that's where most of the play is. The doors are open there, you know, the different temperatures. So I think they're just moving around. It's interesting. You guys are throwing some balls to the right already.
A couple motive guys down there with the ball, Brett Spangler. Let's take a look at this pattern now. Let's see the graph and kind of give it your breakdown there, Jimmy.
There's not much there. 47 feet, 29.22 mils, 1.63 to 1. That's not very much side to side. The drop brush is at 34 feet, so you have 13 feet of buff out. They're only oiling 28 feet for the farthest distance, using curve going forward, glide coming back. You look at it, it's very flat. I would think that you would be somewhere, you know, in the track again. I don't really like playing to the right on 47 feet, and Nick has historically, you know, made it where it looks like it's good to the right, and it hasn't been good to the right.
Just try to trick you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of give a different visualization, but there's a bunch of 2-to-2s again, so you really can't play out. So I would think it's a track again. I would think they would play probably pretty similar to the last squad, but from there, let's see what we got. Let's get some actual visual.
And if you weren't with us this morning, no urethane in play all week long, zero urethane. So that's a bit of a change for some guys, and you know all that stuff's taken into account when the patterns they design. So I guess thinking from a high level, Jimmy, does that mean you feel the patterns might hold up a little longer? Because you know we know when you get reactive urethane together, and they get pretty funky at times.
Yeah, I think they'll last a little bit longer. Remember, you only have 36 bowlers per squad.
Right.
You know, there's 108 players, but it's only 36. So.
Every round on fresh as well, right?
Correct. So, I mean, they don't get any. You only get one ball in each lane in practice. You know, they don't get 10 minutes to break them down. You know, they have a range off to the left. where they come over and then they throw shots. You only get one on each lane. So, I mean, I think they're going to last a long time. So transitions could be interesting. I mean,
and for all the bowling nerds out there that love these oil patterns, we're going to have Nick in the booth either Tuesday or Wednesday night. I talked to Nick a little bit ago, and he's going to be in one of the evenings the next couple of days, and that's your chance to ask him the questions. But he puts a ton of effort into designing these patterns, a lot of testing. He's got a little crew of guys that he tests with, and they don't know what they're bowling on. They just throw the ball and see what it looks like, and he takes a ton of notes. So let's just see how this one shakes out. I did talk to some of the guys. I think you did too as well after the first round, Jimmy. And it sounds like it's playable, scoreable. They didn't feel like, oh, this is just impossible. Right? It was
it hooked
fairly
a lot.
optimistic. A lot of guys were I think we could be okay.
Yeah, the middle of the lane hooked a lot, and to the right it didn't hook a whole lot, but guys got very left very fast, which that usually doesn't equate to good things happening. So hopefully tomorrow they'll be a little smarter, go a little straighter, get their hand a little more up the back. Balls that are a little slower, maybe down some pinned down balls coming into play tomorrow, so they don't change direction as hard down lane, and we shall see. They look like they're hooking pretty good here.
Yeah, it sure does. Sure does.
But to me, where Sam is, I mean, you're longer patterns like 47 feet, you're supposed to be closer to the head pin. Shorter patterns, you're supposed to be farther away from. That's the blueprint.
In
normally.
theory, right?
Yeah. Is that the Bug Crow? Yeah, that's Bug.
There's only one. We're going to have actually 7 channels in play starting tomorrow. We've got one more to add later, the lanes 49 and 50. But you'll be able to watch every player throw every shot if you'd like. Open up all sorts of windows on your browser. Watch them all. There's Andrew Anderson. High flush.
Led here last year, only to lose to that guy named Tackett. Another guy that likes those big dollar tournaments.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a few guys that excel a little bit more on it. That would be Anthony Simonson tends to show up a little bit more when they're a little bit bigger.
Prather, likes those $100,000 checks.
Prather,
Kyle's got a few of those too. Yeah. Didn't Prather go on a run a couple years ago where we won like 3 or 4 of them in a couple years?
Yeah, he won the playoffs. He won
yeah.
the TSC. He's due for a big one.
I think if we get a full season where he's healthy, completely healthy all year long, where he can start out, get comfortable, and then just kind of hit his groove, he can easily go on a little run.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he won well last week early. Then in the match, it didn't go well in the match for him against AJ.
Yeah, in Dallas at the Players, right?
No,
yeah,
week.
that's right. That was last week in St. Louis. That's right. I did watch that match against AJ Chapman. They got that pair dirty early.
Yeah, and then Chris had a decent look, and then AJ. I thought Chris was going to run him down in the 4th game, I think, but yeah, AJ made a good shot, and just AJ ended up beating him.
Yeah, he's due as well to break through at some point. You got to believe he's got all the talent in the world. Throws the ball phenomenal. But just needs that W. Take a jump to the right. We got Timmy Tan, Chris Vi, Packy Hanrahan, Nick Pate, Trevor Roberts. A couple South region buddies now with Nick Pate living down in Conway, South Carolina.
Went from Minnesota to South Carolina.
Smart man right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than going from Texas to Michigan like some of us did.
Never knew. I never known you to be a rocket scientist.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? When you move.
I did want to be an astronaut. That's a true story. I did want to be an astronaut when I was younger. But
you can buy your way to be one now.
Well, the only problem I got is I don't fit. It's a true story. So I was in 7th grade. I was going to go to space camp. And there is restrictions on how big you can be to be an astronaut. I exceeded that in about 5th grade. So here I am instead. Graham Foss. Is he on a heater this year or what? I mean, good stuff. Well, last year he started out hot too in Delaware.
Yeah, he won in Delaware last year. Should be interesting to see how they play. Chris Vi's been off to a bit of a slow start this year. First week he struggled. Last week he made a little run and then he kind of petered out a little bit. We'll see how. That's a lot of shape right there. 6.
Ooh.
The 4, 6, 9.
1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That might be a first.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It got rid of the 8.
Come on,
too,
shoot the spare, Chris. Yeah, Graham says you shoot this spare. That's great. I'm not shooting it. Just throw a strike ball, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's shooting it.
Yeah, throw a strike ball. Yeah, look at Darren Tang. Good buddies right there. Oh, I got to get a shot of this. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7.
Should be easy to make.
That's a new leave, though. That's a Saturday morning youth league leave right there.
Yeah, it should be easy.
Yeah,
to make.
yeah, strike shot. Yeah. That's great.
Bucket in the middle with a 7-10. Best way to describe it.
I'll bet he'll never leave that again in his lifetime.
No. We'll pick the 6-9 out of it again. Timmy Tanner, all. It's Nair, McCune, TJ Rock, Josh Hammonds, Tom Hess, Tim Foy. You couldn't have missed Tom today. He had the brightest sweatshirt on in history today.
I did. It looked very comfortable, too. I told him that. So I like that sweatshirt. Bright orange. It looked very comfortable.
All them lefties stick together. Look at that. Stipich, Nair, Runk. They're all roommates, but.
Well, they're all from the same part of the country, too.
Could be their brother-in-laws, too.
Kevin McCune down there. He's not a lefty.
No, Foy's not either, but he's the only righty in that group. We got Ryan Barnes just stepped up there. Cam Crow off to the right here. I would think Ryan's between 15 and 20, like right around 15.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
I
Kevin,
don't
a
think
little
they're
bit
gonna be
farther
too
left.
bad. I don't think they're going to be too bad here. They should be 17, 18 at the arrows, just getting it to the tracer. I think those guys are going to get fooled a little bit playing a little farther to the right. Happens all the time.
A little new experience for Hayden, fresh off TV, and hop in the car and
Back to
bowling
work.
again the next day in different town, different tournament.
Runk bowled good last week too. He was in the match for the show. Foy bowled good the first week. Had a good week last year.
Was Alexis there?
No, I didn't see her.
That's when he bowls his best, when she's there. They have great communication. Hey, Belmo, DJ Archer.
Yeah, she tells him what to do, and he does.
Yeah, no, I watched him do it at regional in Clinton, Iowa, and he won it handily. Eric Jones, Dave Smart. Look at the Canadian guys sticking together there.
Danny
Smart
James.
and Lajoie.
Danny James playing the lane's good. 17, 18, 8, 9, like we said. That's where you're supposed to be. Smart's got that interesting release. Can always tell him. Jay told me this morning he's got just a little twinge in his back. He kind of fell over a bowling bag.
Sure, that happens a lot out here. Bowling
Yeah.
bags everywhere.
Tell you what, he's historically very healthy, though. He's
I'm
not
telling you, I
had.
noticed the first week he hit the gym in the offseason. What do you think? Look, when he gets back up, look at his shoulders. He looks a little bit wider, a little bit, his upper body.
I know. I saw a video. His wife is planning to run a half marathon, and he ran with her the first time they ran, and he. Historically, you never look at him and go, he's a buff guy. You know what I mean? Even though he's an athlete.
He looks like he bulked up a little bit.
But he's an athlete.
Yeah.
Guy on the right spot. Maybe wrong ball. That's a bright outfit, man.
You like that one?
Danny James. Got that one a little right. Quick. Interesting what the scoring pace is going to be on this one. A couple guys still trying to play the right over there. Oh, here we go. We got Prather and Francois Levois. Look at Tim. He can't stay away. Look at him. Can't get enough.
You don't think he misses being out here?
Nathan Bourbeau this week. Which finger was that?
Because he was my pick, remember? But then I found out he wasn't bowling. I picked him to win the tournament this year.
You're the only one he's bowling, I think.
He's going to bowl Masters, I think, too. I talked to him about that. Talk about a journeyman. He's just been bowling for years. Great success at the regional level. Another Wichita guy, big surprise there. Shocker, right?
There's a lot of them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Be here all week.
These guys are starting to get better apparel all the time. Chapman's got a nice looking sweatshirt on, too. Jesper. Worrying for nothing.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some work with Jesper this week because we can't just say red ball. There's no red ball.
Worrying for nothing.
We're going to have to check his arsenal. That's a typhoon, I think. I think I saw him.
Yeah, he used a plastic ball the first squad. Plastic ball with 360 on it.
So 108 players in the field. Everybody's out here right now, but it's not going to be. It's going to be, what's that, 36?
36 times 3.
36, yeah. 36 a squad, A, B, and C. All day long, the next 3 days. You know who that is. That's Simon, no doubt about that. Santu, Brandon Biondo.
It's a good spot.
Stu, Dio.
Simon's close. He'll just have to cheat a little left off of that. That was about 16, 17. I think between 15 and 20, getting it to 9, like I've said about 3 times already. I think it's just a matter of getting the right roll and the right ball that'll lay in that spot. I thought Santu had a chance to win last week. I don't know what he was doing against Tom Smallwood. It just
I had a chance to shut him out, and then missed a 10-pin in the 10th, and got time to advance.
Yeah, Thomas Larson was down in his match against T.J. Rock, and then T.J. Rock lost all his ball reaction, beat him 2 games in a row, and then he got to go the next day, and he ended up making a show.
That was probably one of the best matches you'll see. Was Larson against T.J. That was a battle. That was a chess match there. That was really fun to watch. Thomas stayed patient, very patient, and when it was his turn to get the W's, he got them. What's he got now? Dinosaur jerseys. I like that. I liked the one he had yesterday with the trucks on TV for his kids. Now he's got the dinosaurs for his son. So we've taken through every pair here at Royal Pin Woodland. Jimmy, what are you seeing on this pattern as we get ready to take a little break and do some more work? Get ready for round 3 of practice later today. Yeah,
I think you're going to have to be closer to head pin, like we said, because it's longer. Anywhere between 15 and 20, and getting it to just right of the tracer down lane. Just like that right there by Alec Keplinger. And I think this one might be a little bit gettable. You know, I mean, this one I think has some score in it. So I think this will be one of the higher scoring ones.
Well, come back and join us tomorrow tomorrow. This would be Wednesday on Pattern 2. At about 3 o'clock, you'll be able to get on there and see what Pattern 4 looks like, and we'll be live with Pattern 3, excuse me. We'll be live with our practice session here in a little while. So thanks for watching. If you're out there on YouTube, get out there and subscribe to Bowl TV and enjoy the coverage here from Royal Pin Woodland for the 56th US Open here all week long. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in a few hours. Remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here.
Bill O'Neill, winner, winner, winner. Bill O'Neill advances for title. Indeed. The birthday girl, Stephanie Zavala.
9 to make the show. There it is.
He yelled, do it, and he did it. B.J. Moore makes the show. 10 is a win for Snodgrass. Title number 6 on the PWBA Tour.
Off his hand, it looks good. It looks good. He's done it. He's done it.